Buy Bitcoin and don't stop. A lot of people are scared right now in this market. A lot of people are selling. A lot of people are fearful. But when you look behind the curtain, there are a lot of big entities buying Bitcoin right now. And I want to cover some of that information. Why the market looks at the short term and just zooms in on that when you really should be looking over a long time period and making wise, unemotional decisions. I'm also going to talk about something that is hated that I do, something that people just can't stand, which is the fact that sometimes I say 48 hours. I'll talk about that, why that is, and I'll own up to it. We'll also talk about some news with Tesla as well, some Solana information. There's a lot to cover. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you can see future videos just like this. Also, there's going to be a link to Margex underneath the video where you can start trading cryptocurrency if you feel strongly about crypto after this video. Maybe you want to place along. Maybe you say all this is BS and Bitcoin's going down to zero. Well, you can put your money where your mouth is and go short the market as well. There's also a link to CoinW underneath the video as well. We just got done with an airdrop there, but they're setting up another one for us here very soon. And from what I've heard, it sounds like it's going to be with Toncoin, which has gone on an insane run, the Telegram coin. But if you don't want to buy it yourself, but you still want some exposure to it, you can sign up for CoinW, and yeah, you can get some exposure just from trading. Now, look at this. Price cuts on the U.S. housing market just hit their highest level in 6 years, with 24.3% of sellers reducing the price of their house in June 2024. This is a buyer's market, the most that we've seen in a while at least. I've gone looking for some houses. I'm supposed to actually close on one here pretty soon, and I got a fantastic deal. It's not this house. It's an investment property, but they're just I don't want to say a lot of deals because you still have to go looking, but people are definitely feeling the pain. A signal that there will be downward pressure on home prices in the second half of 2024 as well. So yeah, even though interest rates are still high and it's still unaffordable for a lot of people to be buying homes, you can see the weakness starting to creep in. Also, Jerome Powell this morning says holding rates high for too long could jeopardize economic growth. This is quite fascinating. And we have CPI and PPI over the next 2 days, over the next 48 hours, some might say. So we'll have to continue to watch that. I would not be surprised to see the markets really pricing this in, pricing in future rate cuts depending on how these CPIs and PPIs come out. Let's actually look at CPI expectations. I didn't even pull this up, but it's expected to come in close to 3.1%. So we'll have to see. Let me actually pull this up. So June, we had 3.3. The forecast was 3.4. Previous was also 3.4. So it came in a little bit below expectations. We're expecting it to go down again. So it will be interesting to see. That comes out tomorrow, less than 24 hours away. And what are people doing? Well, the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs are buying a ton of Bitcoin. Actually, just over the last 2 days, Bitcoin ETFs bought $438 million. That's a lot of Bitcoin. $438 million in the last 2 days. Okay. Germany selling Bitcoin. That's what caused the dump. Also some liquidations. But right now, smart money is continuing to swallow up the dip as much as possible. We continue to see more and more buying from large wallets as well on chain, with Mr. 100 buying a lot. The wallet that I showed in my last video bought 48,000 Bitcoin, I want to say, or something like that. They bought a ton of Bitcoin in the last few days, and they just opened up that wallet. So, there are a lot of people that are swallowing up Bitcoin, and we'll get into why you want to buy and not stop here in a second with some other important stuff. But first, I want to talk about Dabcat. Now, one crypto that I have added a little bit to that I work with is Dabcat. This is a high risk, high reward play for me. Dabcat is the official token of the Dabcat ecosystem. They have a bunch of different tools, and they have their pre-sale going on a little bit longer. At the time of this recording, it's about 11 days where you can buy it on ETH or Base on Token Tool. It's all on their website. I'll leave a link to this underneath the video. Their pre-sale price is quite small, under 1 cent, and they're launching at 2.5 to 5x that. The launch date is July 20th. Launch on Uniswap v3 initially. Liquidity is locked for a year, and the token holders will be able to stake Dabcat and earn passive income. There are actually a couple different ways to stake as well. For example, you can provide liquidity to the DabSwap DEX, and then you can also stake Dabcat tokens in DabStake. So this is a token that you may want to pay attention to. It's on Base Summer. It should be exciting, and check them out underneath the video. Okay, so Peter Schiff just posted this. I'm in Istanbul, and look what I came across. There are some things you just can't escape from. It's a poster with BTC in the background, but he's in Istanbul. Okay, look at the Turkish lira. This is Bitcoin's price versus the Turkish lira all time. Let's just go over the last 5 years. It says that Bitcoin is up 3,000% over 5 years. The Turkish lira has experienced inflation of 16.3%, 15.2%, 12.3%, 19.6%, 72.3%, and then this year somewhere around 70%. So they are having their currency eroded away. I mean, if you had $1 million 5 years ago, it's worth what, $200,000, $300,000 now on a good day, probably less than that. So the fact is, a lot of people are interested in Bitcoin around the world because they're not seeing 3% inflation like the US is seeing. They're seeing 5, 10, 20, 50%, 100%. So yeah, there's no question why some people are interested in Bitcoin. Now, let's talk about the Bitcoin bull scenario. But first, this is a little bit off subject. I just wanted to cover this though. GM partners with Tesla to build 1,000 charging points or charging stations in Mexico. I found this really fascinating. This just came out, I believe, after hours today. I don't see a time, but I saw it after hours. And this is General Motors Mexico. They're working with Tesla to set up new charge stations. I find this so interesting that there are so many large car companies that are partnering. Basically, sounds like just paying or flipping some of the bill for Tesla to build out charging stations. This is really the best case scenario for Tesla because they're seeing they're seeing so many companies that need them to build out these charging stations. They're getting paid, and in the past they had to pay themselves, right? They make the investment and maybe they get paid back enough over time to make it worth it, right? They're making a small cut on that electricity. But now they're getting paid and they're getting probably some revenue over time. And it's so fascinating to see so many car companies that just reach into their own pocketbooks to further strengthen Tesla's lead. It's fascinating to watch. And right now, Tesla is up 51% in the past month. This is insane. Over the last 1 year, it's still down about 3%. Year to date, up 5.6%. Over the last 6 months, up 12%. So many people are really excited about Tesla right now because it's up 51%, but they weren't willing to buy back here. I actually did some purchases myself when Tesla was under 200. This is my largest holding in the stock market world. So this is my largest position, but I just find it so fascinating when we see something like this because Tesla has had a couple fundamentally good things happen in the last month, but is it worth 51% more than it was a month ago? No. And then I look at crypto and I just think, okay, Bitcoin's down, 20% or so. There are other coins that are down like 50%. So many people are pissed off. They like Solana, right? It's down 12% in the last month. But if you scroll out, even from late March, when it was 200, I think it was even higher than that at one point. I don't think this chart shows it. I think it was like 220 or something. It's down 30%. A lot of people are just kind of pissed off at the altcoin market. Bitcoin's fallen down 20%, but altcoins are down like 30, 40%, 50%, 80%. But when you zoom out, Solana is actually up 7x in the last year. If you had gone on a long position on Solana, you'd still be up 20x, 50x, 100x. But even just buying Solana spot, you're up 7x. Compare that to Tesla, and Tesla would be down 3%. So it's so fascinating. Like, you just have to zoom out and think, okay, what's going to be doing well over the next year, 2 years, 5 years. Don't think about like the next month. Just think about what's going to be doing really well longer term. And part of that is taxes. Part of it is that it's really hard to determine how much people are accounting for in the short term. Like Tesla, let's say they come out with good earnings numbers in people's eyes. Okay, maybe the stock goes up. Maybe they beat expectations and the stock goes up. Maybe they have good numbers, but people are expecting even better numbers, so the stock falls down. And people think that's crazy, like, oh, they beat expectations. But sometimes that's not enough. They can fall down in price. The stock price can go down even with them beating expectations because maybe there's a lot priced in. Same thing with other stocks. But the thing is, long term, you can outlast the dumb money, right? You can buy something when there's a lot of fear, irrational fear in the market, when there's maybe some government selling 50,000 Bitcoin over a few weeks. You can outlast that. You can outlast that short-term fear and buy something at a long-term good price and then write it up. That's why, I put buy Bitcoin and don't stop in the video title. I'm not necessarily telling you to do that. You have to make your own decision. But if you bought Bitcoin right now over the next couple of years, you're probably going to do well, especially on a 4-year time frame. You're buying Bitcoin at a 22% discount from all-time highs at a time where we're going into probably a lower rate environment. We're going to see money pump back into the system. We're seeing large companies, pensions, everyone buy Bitcoin, it seems like. And a lot of people are bearish, short-term bearish. But if you asked a lot of people that are interested in crypto, they probably would say Bitcoin's going to be up in a year. But yet a lot of them aren't buying. So yeah, maybe it is time to buy and not stop. Now, if you have a percent of your portfolio that you're comfortable with and you don't want to put any more into crypto, I get it. We all have different goals. But yeah, if you're looking to accumulate, maybe you want to buy this dip and not think so short term. Don't think about what's up or down in the last month necessarily. Look at the fear and greed. Look at what's happening a year from now. And of course, I can't see the future, but I also bought during the bear market and people said I was dumb for a long time. And yet now I'm up significantly on those positions. So yeah, maybe it's time to be dumb. Maybe it's time to go out and buy Bitcoin when people don't really want to. Of course, we could always fall further. So I always do think it's important to have some cash. Now, I posted a video a few hours ago and a lot of people got pissed off on it. I posted a video talking about some big events happening in crypto and some different things that were happening in the market today. And in case you didn't know, a lot of people now hate when I say that someone's giving you 48 hours, like BlackRock's giving you 48 hours or 48 hours before Bitcoin does this or whatever. The thing is, I put up 3 different options. I put up 3 different options for people to click on. And I'm not trying to defend myself. I'm just giving you some of the thought process behind it. You can now test and compare different thumbnails. So I put BlackRock locked in, big day for BlackRock because they bought a lot of Bitcoin yesterday. They're locked in because they're buying a lot of Bitcoin. BlackRock is giving you 48 hours. Okay, this was a little bit more baity, but over the next 48 hours, we have two big inflation prints. We have PPI and CPI. That was the thinking behind it. Bombshells. And yeah, watch time went up significantly, 7% higher for this one compared to locked in and big day for BlackRock. So the fact is, as long as people, like my viewership is still clicking on those videos more and liking them more, watching more, I'm going to keep them. So just want to let you know, it's not that I'm just coming up with these because I think that's going to make people view more. It's because it actually is. Like, yeah, I'll put different things in there if you want, but people don't want it. People want those titles. And as long as I think that there's, some correlation, it's not like I'm just pulling out my butt. They're two different. There are two different big things happening in the next 48 hours. Well, then I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to continue putting up those thumbnails. Now, let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Let me know what you think about Tesla being up 50%. It's awesome. I love it. I'll be honest with you. It's great to see, but also I would have liked Tesla to have fallen even further and to be able to buy more. Let me know what you think about GM partnering with Tesla. Okay, so I'm checking now. This was right at the market close. So let me know what you think about them partnering with Tesla to build out EV stations. Also, let me know what you think about BlackRock buying so much. Let me know what your thoughts are on buying Bitcoin and not stopping for the foreseeable future. Let me know. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Of course, there's always a time to take profits. So if you're watching this in a year, yeah, maybe Bitcoin's up significantly and you don't want to buy. There's always a caveat. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Check out Dabcat underneath the video. Check out Margex and CoinW, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.